Hi friends, I have a great video for you guys. I'm going to teach you all my tips and tricks for the perfect newborn hat. Here's what you need for the perfect newborn hat. You're going to need a G hook, a 4mm. You're going to need an H hook, a 5mm. You are going to need a light worsted weight yarn or an Aran weight yarn. And your gauge is going to be, if I measure anywhere here in the middle. Here, these double crochets a little bit tighter. It's a little bit hard to get a good read on it, so you want to do your gauge here. 7 double crochets for 2 inches. My final product on this yarn, I actually used a DK weight, so it's a little lighter than usual, so it's a little bit smaller. We have 6 1/4 inches across. A newborn's hat's about 14 inches across. This does stretch quite a bit. You don't want to have your hat exactly 14 inches in circumference because it's just gonna fit on the baby's head. It's not gonna snugly fit and it'll just fall off. So you're aiming for 12.5, 13 inches. This one's fine at 6, oh, I guess a little bit bigger than that, 6.5. So, and then 5 inches in height. To begin, we're going to do a magic ring. Now I'm not going to show you the magic ring in this video because I have several videos showing how to do a magic ring. I have a magic ring, just a regular one done slow in my crochet lessons. I also have a magic ring deconstructed, so a new way of making a magic ring. And then I also have a faux magic ring, which shows you how to do a magic ring, what looks like a magic ring using the chain 2 method. So you can check those out. They're on my channel. They're under the crochet lessons. So we got our chain 2 and we're yarn over. We're going to insert a hook into the magic ring. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2 for a double crochet. So do that again. Yarn over, insert a hook into the center of the magic ring, yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Yarn over, insert a hook into the stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, so you get 3 double crochets there. Chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. Go ahead and get 11 there in the center. Pause here and meet me when you have 11. Okay, here we are at the end. I've got 11 double crochets. I'm going to pull up a loop with my hook and take my hook out. Now instead of a normal slip stitch, we're going to go backwards into this slip stitch. So normally your hook would be in here. You insert your hook into this double crochet, the top here. But we're going to take our hook out. We're going to go in backwards for an invisible slip stitch or an invisible join. Go ahead and put your hook, your loop around your hook, pull it through that stitch, and that's all. Now, it puts the slip stitch behind your work, so if you look at your circle now, look how perfect it is. It's perfectly seamless. Instead of having the slip stitch on top, if we were to finish off right now, it would look great. If we finish this off right now with a normal slip stitch, you'd have a knot right here at the top to be very obvious it's the finish. So this is a great seamless invisible join. Alright, here's our next trick. We're going to do a standing double crochet. For a standing double crochet, you're going to leave your loop long from that invisible slip stitch join. You're going to put your index finger holding on to this loop on your hook, and you're going to wrap your hook counterclockwise around the loop. Now you have 2 loops on the hook. You're going to go into the next stitch, which is right here. I like to take my hook and use the hook part of the head to actually get in there. And I yarn over and pull up a loop. Here, yarn over, pull through that one and then underneath the second one. And yarn over and pull through the last 2. So you have a standing double crochet. Now this part here might be a little bit loose, but that's okay. Don't worry about that because that's what we attach to when we join for the next round. All right, so we're going to put 2 double crochets into every stitch around. So I'm going to put a normal double crochet right next to that in the same stitch. and then we're going to put 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So double crochet again is yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Put another double crochet in that same stitch, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So 2 double crochets into every stitch around. When you get to the end, you're going to have 22 stitches. Go ahead and pause here and meet me when you have those. Okay, I changed to the yarn that you guys are using so you can relate a little bit better to what you're seeing on your own hands. So here we have, we're ready to connect. We've got our 22 stitches around. And in case you can't find where you need to go here at the end, I take my hook and I grab the outside yarn. Okay. And then I grab the outside yarn if everything's all tangled up. And then I will go through both, stretch it out, come out, and go through the correct way. I'm going through the back. So I do all that extra work in case sometimes in the beginning our yarn, depending on what kind of yarn we're using, will kind of fuse together or will snag. And just so you don't create any kind of ugliness, you can just try that technique. All right, put our loop on the hook, pull that yarn through, and now we're ready for another standing double crochet. So you put your finger on your yarn, wrap counterclockwise. You're going to use your hook and get underneath that first stitch that you want to be in. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both, let go, yarn over, and pull the last. All right, so here's a little trick in case you don't know. Whatever number you start with in the center of for your magic ring, we start with 11. Every round after that will be a multiple of that number. So if you started with 10 in the middle, your next round will be 20, and your next round will be 30, 40, 4 increases in making a circle. Now we start with 11, and we're using, a particular increase pattern that you use for circles. The next round was 22. This one will be 33, and the one after that will be 44. So as long as you're using the typical pattern used for increasing in circles, you're going to have multiples every time. So it helps you to, when you're counting, to know that you did it correctly. If I end up with 23, I know that I have 1 too many stitches. Another thing that is really helpful to know is if you start with a single double crochet and not an increase, you will end on an increase in your last stitch, and vice versa. If I start with 2 double crochets, I start with an increase. For my first stitch, I will end on a single double crochet in the end. So I always start mine with a single double crochet, and at the very end in this last stitch, I know for sure there will be a double. So if there happens to be a single, I know my count's wrong. So that's also helpful to know. All right, so we have our single double crochet in here, just 1. So in the next stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets for our increase. So the increase pattern for this row is going to be double crochet, 2 double crochet. So 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. So now we do 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and now we're going to do 2 double crochets in the stitch after that. 1 double crochet again, then 2 double crochets in the next. So 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. You're going to have 33 stitches when you get to the end here. You can go ahead and pause here and meet me when you get to the end. Okay, here I am at the end, and I started with a double crochet. So I'm going to end on 2 double crochets. So now we have 33 stitches all around. We're almost there. We have 1 more row of increasing. All right, go ahead and pull up your loop and find where you need to go. So use your hook to find the outside stitches. This one was very easy to find. Nothing's hooked on anything. Let's go ahead and leave it how it is then. Get that loop in there, pull through, and do another standing double crochet. Finger there, counterclockwise. Use your hook to get under that stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And if this part on yours is really big and loose, that is okay. It'll make it even easier to pick it up when we come back around. So don't worry about that. Mine are a little bit tighter because I've had a little bit more practice at it. All right, so now our new increase pattern is going to be 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. So here we have our first round was 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So 2 double crochets in each stitch. And then the next round was 1 double crochet, 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we're 1, 1, 2. So double crochet. And do another double crochet into the next stitch. See, mine's kind of loose here. That's fine though. And then 2 double crochets into the next stitch. So now we're just going to keep going with that pattern. Double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into the next stitch. 2 double crochets into the next stitch. We're going to continue with this pattern. Double crochet, 2 double crochets in the same stitch, double crochet, 2 double crochets in the same stitch. We're going to do that all the way around. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. When you get to the end, you're going to have 44 stitches. Go ahead and pause here and meet me when you get there. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and do your invisible slip stitch, invisible join. You're going to do your standing double crochet. You're going to go into the next stitch and double crochet, and you're just going to double crochet, 1 double crochet into every stitch around. You're going to have 44 stitches for every round, and you're going to do that for a total of 11 rounds. So I don't count this as the first round. I count this as the first round. So here's a magic ring center. That doesn't count. We've got 1, 2, 3. We're on our 4th round now. I need you to have 11 rounds as double crochet. Now, if your gauge is a little bit bigger and your hat is a little bit larger, I would go ahead and do a 12th round. That's what I do. When I have a yarn that is like really stretchy, or my gauge was just a little bit larger, maybe the yarn was a little bit heavier, I do add an extra round. That way it could fit, you know, a bigger newborn. Because if you don't want it to be a little short and then too wide, so go ahead and add a little bit of height to it and do 12 rounds instead of 11. But for these hats, I'm doing 11. Go ahead and finish those and then check back in. All right, so now you've got 11 rows total of double crochet. You can go ahead and do your invisible slip stitch. And now I'm going to switch hooks and go to that larger H hook, and your 5mm hook. And I'm just going to go ahead and crochet just into the next. I'm not going to chain or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and crochet into that next stitch there. I'm going to do a single crochet. So just like that. So single crochet into every stitch around. I guess I could do a little refresher on single crochet in case you forgot how to do it. Just going to insert your hook into the stitch and pull up a loop, and you yarn over and you pull through 2. So go ahead and pause here and meet me back when you get all those single crochets done. Okay, so now we're here at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hook, and I want to pick up this stitch here. Okay, I'm going to do the invisible join just like we did before. Pull yarn through the stitch, and then you're going to cut your yarn, cut, and then pull the work through the loop, and then you can pull tight. And check that out, the slip knot is not on the front, which is so cool. You can barely see where it would even go. So there's on the back, and and you just weave that in with a needle. So there you have it. That looks fantastic. You could hardly see the seam there. It runs right here, and on a baby's head, I mean, I really think you have to have a crochet eye to see the seam. The seam is running right through here if you can't see it. Just fantastic. Thank you guys so much for following through with this video and doing it with me. I really appreciate it. If it was too fast for you and you needed stuff broken down a little bit more, please don't hesitate to go over to my channel and check out my crochet lessons. I have them for right-handed and left-handed. I break them down really, really slow. I know this pattern is a little bit quick in some of the spots, but that's because it's made for people who have already been guided through my lessons. So go check them out if you need any help, any questions, send me comments. You guys are the best fans ever. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching.